as we kickstart this week, I'm really excited because we're obviously getting ready for our money party, and part of my commitment to you this year to live a life of financial deservingness, like really living out what you deserve financially, is I want to have all the conversations that need to be had in terms of how you can amplify your manifesting and some of the things that might be getting in the way. And one of those things we're going to talk about this morning, which is money blocks. So welcome to everyone. As you're coming in, just so you know, here in the Money family, we love to celebrate each other, give love to each other. We love the greetings and all that fun stuff. So you'll see people typing happy money family, or happy money day. Good morning, Grace. Hi, everyone. Yeah, we just love loving on each other. That's how we roll. So welcome into our family. Join us every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. I'm always here. I love having this conversation. I love being in your company, sharing with you, giving you some inspirational coffee to kickstart the morning. All right, you guys. So let's talk about money blocks. In my email that went out, I had a question. And as you're watching and you're coming in, I want you to type. And one of the things that you'll learn about our family is that we keep it real. We around here in our money family, we keep these conversations real, because when we're being authentic and standing in our truth, we're able to create transformation. There's no judgment here. We're all imperfectly perfect. We're all on the journey. We are all committed to being better. And so we can have these conversations and declare our truths, right? So if you've never experienced that, welcome to the Money family. That's just how we roll. And in my email, I asked a question. I said, in the last 5 years, out of the last 5 years, I want you to tell me 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Pick one of those as your answer. In the last 5 years, how many times have you achieved the financial goal that you set for yourself or gotten close to it? So in the last 5 years, has it been 0? Has never happened for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is your number? Go ahead and type in the comments one of those numbers, right? Let me just get a feel for where you guys are. So here's the thing, right? I just want to thank you and acknowledge you for being willing to be that level of honest. And just so you know, like really putting your response in and making yourself see it, awareness is 80% of the solution. So like I said, we're having an open conversation because we want to see where we are. And this talk this morning is about your money blocks, right? So what's going on? What's going on? Why is it a 0 out of 5? Why is it a 1 out of 5, a 2, a 3? This is the kind of test we want to get a 5 out of 5 on. Do you guys agree with me? When I ask this question 5 years from now, you want to say 5. This is the kind of test. We're not okay with a 4. We're not okay with a 3. We want a 5 out of 5 on this one. Yeah? Can you guys give me some love on that if that's the way you feel? I absolutely love being here with you guys. And I love, that's right, Amawami. Awareness is 80% of the solution. Awareness is 80% of the solution. So being able to look at what that number is for you and just call it out, we can start to address what are some of the things that might be going on. So when I ask you, are you open to the idea that it might not have been a 5 out of 5 because you might have a money blind spot? There might be something going on subconsciously for you that is causing you to not hit this one, the money part, the money area of your life, out of the park. I know for me, and I've shared this very openly, I looked at the relationship part of my life, and I realized I was a 0 out of 5. 0 out of 5 in the last 5 years, not getting it. And I just had to be real with myself. It's like, Tasha, you have a blind spot in this area of your life. You have a blind spot. There's something going on with all the will in the world, all the things that you know how to do, and you are not crushing it here. Something's up. And in regards to money, that's the conversation I want to have with you this morning, that there's possibly just something that you aren't seeing, that you aren't able to put your finger on, but it's playing out in your finances. So are you open Yes, there we go. Are you open to the possibility that there might be a blind spot? And even if you were a 4 out of 5, I know even if you're a 5 out of 5, listen into this conversation because, first of all, information is power. And there's always something that you can tweak. I tell my clients all the time, not because I teach this means I go, okay, I got it. I'm crushing this. So there's nothing left for me to learn. I will listen to conversations where other teachers are teaching exactly what I do, exactly what I know how to do. And sometimes they might just put a pause. They might put a period. They might put an exclamation mark, and it makes all the difference in the world, or it gives me new insight. So even if you're a 4 or 5 out of 5, just listen into this conversation, right? And see what's here for you. When we talk about money blocks, one of the things that I have realized is that, this blind spot that's playing out is also the reason why people struggle financially. I think every one of you watching, you're the kind of people who you start the year off and you set this beautiful, big financial goal, this big financial intention. And as the year goes by, you might look at it and go, what's going on here? Why is this not unfolding? Or you look at the last couple of years and it's like, man, I just can't get this right. And if that's you, I feel it, because heaven knows that was me with money for a while. Then it was me with relationship. It's, there's all these different areas of our life that we are journeying through and we learn from. So I can understand that feeling of, it just feels like I'm struggling with this and I really want a breakthrough. And I'm sure I'm, putting it in that context because sometimes you can't get the breakthrough because you can't see what's to be broken. Sometimes you can't get the breakthrough that you're looking for because you can't see what needs to be broken. In other words, it's in your blind spot. It's not right here in front of you and you're doing all the things that you know to do, but the thing that needs to be broken, it's like, it's right here. You can't see it. It's in your blind spot, right? So I'm going to share with you the top 3 things that I see people have as their blind spot that cause them to struggle financially. And I'm going to share with you how to resolve it. You ready? Ready to have this conversation and to change it all today? I hope that you guys are, because I am. All right, you guys. So here we go. Number 1, when it comes to money and finances, I'm going to start off by saying it in this way. The blind spot that some people have, and this is a large percentage, is that you kind of go to the table asking small. And you don't even realize you're asking small. And the reason you don't know you're asking small is that you're asking from your limits, right? So it's kind of like, this is what I know to be the threshold for me. And so, yeah, I'm going to come set a financial goal. I'm going to come set this, I'm going to go through Tasha's process. I'm going to sign up for all these money things. And I'm going to write out there like a number. And the truth is, that number that you're asking for is well below what you're capable of having. But you don't know it. You don't know that. So you're asking from your limits. You're asking from this part of your brain that says, this is what I think is possible for me. So I'm just going to ask for that. And what that looks like is, I call it just enough, right? You ask for just enough. And you look at other people and you go, wow, they seem like they're hitting it out of the park. And why is that not happening for me? And sometimes with manifesting, this is what's really interesting. Sometimes with manifesting, I like to say, when God, universe, source knows that you're capable of having much more than what you're asking for, you'll not only get the little bit that you're asking for, but sometimes, it's just the nature of life. I was watching a documentary last night and it was fascinating. It talked about why we have to suffer and struggle. And sometimes when you're in that limitation, the only way to get you to break it is to have you like feel the struggle. You know what I mean? It's to make it so intense for you that you are willing to do the work to get some help to see this blind spot and to break it and to get the breakthrough. when you're cushy, we're not going to do the work. When things are just, we're just getting by, we're okay, we're not going to do the work. It's just a fact. Human nature, we like comfort, right? But when we're in that struggle and that like, I want to break this, I've had enough of it, that is when we step up and do the work to create change. So I want you guys to just I want you guys to think of number one blind spot is, am I asking from my limits? Am I asking from, that place of, this is all I think that's possible for me? All right. So that's number one. Number two is you ask with no power. You ask with no power. What does that mean? You have your blind spot. Those of you that this is where you are, your blind spot is you will participate in intention setting. You will do group work. You'll be in an environment. You'll have a mentor. You'll watch every YouTube video about manifesting money. You'll do all those things and you will declare it. You'll write it. You do all the things that there is to be done. But there's no power behind it because you really can't see and believe it for yourself, right? So there's no power. It's like you are asking from the weakest place possible for a financial breakthrough. And so you're probably not going to get it. I don't ever like to say that. Or, what I really want you to understand is when you're a 0 or a 1 or a 2 out of 5 in the last 5 years, I know it's not because you haven't had financial goals. You haven't had financial dreams. That's not the reason. But what I want you to consider is the blind spot might be that you aren't believing it for yourself. You're not really seeing it as coming through. You're going through the motions, you're doing the asking, you're doing all the right things, but you don't really believe it. And I see some of you saying, yeah, it's true. The reason I can tell you this, by the way, is because I've lived it. Not because I read it in a book, not because I did a survey, but because I lived through these steps. That's why I now know, that's where my blind spot was, right? And then the third one, which is the one I really, really want to get to. So number one and number two, I'm going to give you solutions for all three. Number one and number two, we're going to take care of this weekend. Okay, come Saturday. If you are not already registered, make sure you're registered for the Money Manifesting Party this Saturday. It is 10 a.m. Eastern. It's on Zoom. I'm going to help take you through that, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But number three, and this one is probably the most powerful blind spot of all. So I'm going to slow down. I'm going to slow all the way down so you can hear it. For some of you, and I have been there, so I know, you struggle with achieving your financial desires because you are living from your old money story. You are living from what Joe Dispenza calls the familiar past. You start all the time with doing all the right things, but the you subconsciously, the you energetically, the you, all the things that make up you living the same financial reality over and over and over again is what's at play. And even though you go through the motions of doing all the things, you still act in fear. You still come from lack with money. You still have your doubts. You still shrink. You still say things like, I'm not good with money. How do I know? When I got divorced, these were some of the things that I said for a long time. So much so I wouldn't pay myself. I mean, I just shrunk away from everything to do with money. But if you would have asked me on the street if I wanted financial abundance, if I wanted my bank accounts to be full and overflowing, absolutely yes. But I, Tasha, had not changed me. I was still living from my old money story, like living from it in all of my everyday actions. And here's the thing, we can all say the flowery stuff, we can all write it, we can do our pretty boards, we can do all of it. But when you're in the quiet with yourself and you know that you inside of your mind has not changed, you're still thinking the same way, you're still having the same conversations with yourself, you're still telling yourself about you with money in the same way you have for the last 5 years, then my friends, that blind spot has you captive. And you, as Neville Goddard said, your faith is your fortune. Neville Goddard says you have to die to that self. And I use it, and I like make the emphasis on it. Like, did you hear the drama I put behind that? Like, literally, that part of you, that old self, Joe Dispenza says, your familiar past, it is not there to serve you. It is going to keep you at a 0 out of 5, 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5. We want a 5 out of 5 on this test. We want every single year to be hitting, close to hitting, or beyond hitting our financial goals, right? But if you are stuck in the version of you that has fears with money, that think from limitations, that act from limitation, that gives into your ego and your worries and your fears and your anxiety about money, none of it is going to work. And I am sorry to have to tell you that truth so bluntly, but I kind of need you to hear it, because today you have to give birth to the new you. And that's why I want to have this conversation. I want to bring to your awareness these blind spots. So now I want you to type out for me, which one of these do you have the awareness that you might have been functioning from in the last 5 years, right? A, were you asking too small? Was that you? Were you asking, really, you were asking from your limitations? That might have been you. Was it number one? So go ahead and type number one. Number two, were you asking, but with no power behind it? You're doing all the things, doing all the steps, but you have never believed it the way you know you need to. You've never really seen yourself, like fully seen yourself as having it. Which one of those are you? And is it number one or number two? Number three, are you doing all the things, but you're still the same you? You're still living from your old money story. You're still living from your familiar past, the way you've always talked to yourself about money. You might not tell me, but it's still going on inside your head. And that's where it really matters, right? Still going inside of your head. You're still acting the same way with money. You're still in your doubts and fears. You're just you. You're just the same you that you've always been with money. Which one of those are you? Number one, number two, or number three? I see a lot of all threes. I see a lot of all threes. And here's what's amazing. Here's what's amazing about this. We don't have to be stuck there. We don't have to be prisoners to this, right? This conversation is really just about awareness. It's helping you just to see the blind spots. If you don't know that they're there, you don't know how they're playing out in your financial reality. So I'm very grateful for all of you that join live, and all of you that will watch the replay, and all of you that are typing in the comments, and your willingness to be this real and this vulnerable. By the way, if this is your first time joining our money family, this is how we roll. We talk like this. We go there. We go deep. We call ourselves out, right? So now let's talk about solution. Solution number one, I found that I'm just going to be straight with you and direct. There was a time when I was stuck in that blind spot, and I needed someone to take me outside of my limits. I needed people like my mentor. This is one of my favorite stories. At the end of 2020, I had a coaching call with him. It was November of 2020. On that call, he asked me one question he asked me that allowed me to double my income, my personal income for 2021. What was in that question? He took me outside of my limits. Had he not asked me, I would have just stayed in the old familiar past, right? Pretty much close to doubling my income I did last year. Because he asked me that question. He took me outside of my own limits. I want to do that for you. What I'm saying is sometimes when you're in this blind spot, I get it. It is not really easy to just jump out of it on your own. You actually might need some guidance, some mentorship, some, just being in an environment where literally the vibration is beyond the limits. Everybody is thinking like that. And you just kind of, rising tide raises all the boats. So you, as you're just being in that environment and I'm guiding you and you're seeing everybody else do it, it's like, wait a minute, why have I just been asking for this same thing for so long? Maybe that's why I'm not getting it. It's way below what I should be asking, right? So I want to be the person who helps to take you outside of that limit. Napoleon Hill says, like, I love this stuff because it really is so simple. It's not rocket science. We've been trained to work hard to create financial results when it is really this simple. If you can see it and believe it, you must. Did you hear that word? Must. Guarantee, circle it. If you can see it and believe it, you must achieve it. So in number 2, when you were asking, but you weren't seeing and believing it for yourself, that's why it wasn't working. Again, this is something I love to do. I love, love, love showing people and taking you through a process that allows you to see it, not only see it, but feel it. And when I can make you see and feel it for yourself, you begin to believe it. And it's the believing it that we need, right? So number 1 and number 2, that's the solution. You really need some help outside of yourself. That's why we have mentors. That's why we have coaches. So again, I'm just going to do a shameless plug. If you're ready to deal with those 2 blind spots, I want you to join me this Saturday morning. Let me know you're coming. Say, see you Saturday, Tasha, if you're already registered. This Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, I'm taking everyone through the money manifesting party. We are going to do our money manifesting boards. Hang on a second. So here's mine. It's still blank. I'm waiting to do it in your presence because when we're all together, the vibration is so high. That's when I want to do it. So I want to, on Saturday morning, take you through the process, shatter these money limits that you have for yourself, make you see you on the other side, you with the 5 out of 5 years, you with the financial life that you desire, all the things that having this money will mean for you. What is your life going to look like? Sometimes you can't believe it because you just can't see it. But if I can guide you through the process to get you to see it and feel it, I know it's done. You're going to have it. Right? So come join us this Saturday morning. Make sure you are registered so you can get your boards. It's going to be on Zoom. So only if you're registered can you participate. There's so much on my mind I want to say because I want every single one of you. You owe this to yourself. Do not go another 5 years living from these blind spots. Don't do it. This is free. There's nothing but an hour and a half of your time that's needed. I've given you the board. I'll give you my time. I'll give you my heart. I'll give you my wisdom. Everything for free. Come take yourself out of this blind spot, right? So see you Saturday morning. Some of you, you've already been registered. Hang on a second. If you, for whatever reason, we've been telling you to download the mobile wallet, do all that, type VIP. If none of that's been working for you, on the screen is the website that you can go register. tashachen.com/money party. By the way, invite as many people as you possibly can. I want you to just think about who are the people that I know in my life that they could really benefit from being in an hour and a half of this kind of energy, this space. I know that they've been challenged and they're really looking for a way to make money an easier and more fun thing in their life. This is somebody that you think highly of, you love, you care about. Invite them. Just send them that link, tashachen.com/party. Have them come join us Saturday morning. All right. So number 1 and number 2, I got you. See you Saturday. I got you. It is done. I've taken care of it for you. Number 3, we're going to start with number 3 right now, right? This is where you have to create a new version of you. You can't continue to live from the familiar past and from your old money story. So I was listening to some Joe Dispenza the last couple of days, and one of the things that I love is how he talks about the vibration of gratitude, and how no matter what we're saying, right, when we do affirmations and we do all that, if we don't believe it, if we don't have an emotional connection to what we're saying, then we're not amplifying the power that can be there to create change. And I know a lot of you love Joe Dispenza and you listen to him, so I'm going to make it really simple for you with this affirmation. He said that gratitude, the energy of gratitude, carries the thought of abundance. The energy of gratitude carries the thought of abundance. It immediately creates that mind body connection for you for whatever it is that you're looking to change, so you can become a new body, a new person, a new set of thoughts, right? So I'm going to give you an affirmation, and I want you to just pause for a moment and think about this. If you became the version of you that was just like totally aligned with financial abundance, if you became that version of you, it was just money was the easiest thing for you. You could make it, you could keep it, you could grow it. You had more than you needed financially. And this allowed you to just go be happy with all the other areas of your life, because the fuel that you need to enjoy life, money, finances, you got it. It's taken care of. That's the version of you that you now live from. If you could be that version, how grateful would you be? How grateful would you be to be that? I know that if you're watching this, if you're in our community, your gratitude for that would be 1,000 out of 100. Yes, I said that. 1,000 out of 100, right? You'd be so grateful. So right now, just tap into the feeling of it is done. You are that new version. You're not the you of the past who worries about money and gets all anxious about it. Like, start creating and seeing yourself as the new version where money is just easy for you, and express gratitude for it. So I'm going to leave you with this affirmation. I am grateful. I am grateful that I am grateful to be so great with money. I am grateful to be so great with money. Go ahead, all of you listening, watching the replay, however you come across this, type out that affirmation. Program it into your subconscious mind. Feel the gratitude. Like, end this live and just sit for a moment and just see that version of you. You might not be there in this moment, but just see yourself as a version of you that money is easy for you. You're great with it. You have it in abundance, and express gratitude for that version of you, so that you begin having the mind body connection that's needed to create that new you. You guys got that? Hang on a second, because I can't see comments when I'm over in this section. There we go. I am grateful. There you go, Angela. I am grateful to be great with money. That's you. That's you. You are that new person. You are the version of you that's so great with money. And I'm grateful that I get to watch you be great with money. Mwah. Thank you, guys. I will see you all Saturday morning. Make sure you're registered. Some of you are asking, when are we getting the boards? When are we getting the Zoom link? I think we're sending out the emails today or tomorrow. So watch your email, right? And if you can't make Saturday, register anyway, because then you'll get the replay and you'll be able to watch it afterwards. All right. So see you Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern for the money party. Let us make those boards and create the 2022 that we want financially. Mwah. I'll see you guys then. Bye, everyone. Have a great Monday.